that might actually hurt him in selection as an offlaner without a jungle that you necessarily want to send somebody to fall back on.
All right, Vega gonna go with their other signature supports, the Crystal Maiden and the Clockwork. Now, Crystal Maiden, one of Sioma's signature heroes throughout his career, but more recently they've actually had Sioma on the Clockwork and Silent on the CM. It's been very, very good for them.
People didn't believe me, but I believed in Synderen. I thought he was onto something. When they started running support Clockwork,
oh yeah,
I was like, I think that's the place that Clockwork can really shine, because he's not a bad laner. Cogs is incredibly disruptive. Battery assaults on the right support is like a guaranteed kill. He can deal with aggro tri lanes from a support, like as a support, try versus try. He's not terrible, and he's even better against some of these like solo offlaners or dual lanes. And then once you get to level 6, as long as you can get over that hump of the laning phase and finding your levels, then you're just like a regular old offlane Clockwork again. So, which is very valuable to have. In the previous patch, Clockwork didn't scale for you, so it felt terrible as an offlaner because you wanted a core that would scale. But as a support, it was perfectly acceptable.
The problem with that position 4 Clockwork is to get to level 2. I mean, on level 1, he's so you don't know what you want to go for, and with Crystal Maiden, she's gonna probably start in jungle, so you have a Clockwork as a, let's call him a lane support for a few minutes. That's not that strong. Again, a NewBee with the same opening as the previous game. I just love THD or Jakiro.
Yeah. In a patch situation where you expect the offlaner to get more or be able to scale a little bit better, then like Clockwork does appear weaker, because it seems that he's very ult dependent. Like even if he scales, he just has more survivability, but that ult is expected usually to net 1 kill. And so compared to say more greedy cores that they've been running in the offlane, say in Abaddon or Magnus, he seems to fall behind. But from the support position, and this is another way to look at some heroes that can kind of trade up by position. If you're able to trade up from the 4 position on a core with a hook shot, with a cog, that always gives added value. I think that was a part of Magnus's value as well, with where from the 3 position, RP can trade up for a much higher core, and it's very hard to deal with.
I really like the way you put that. I think that there's also a lot of value, of course, for the same reasons in both the Sand King and the Clockwork. Those are just heroes that, depending on the lineup, can be either 3s or 4s. I do think that you're going to see less of the farming offlaner in this patch based upon what we've seen so far.
One more thing about that Clockwork, he struggles to get to level 2, and he struggles to get to level 6. Once he gets level 6, it's pretty much the same hero as your offlane hero, so that's the hardest part, the first 10 minutes.
It used to be right that the level 2 problem was somewhat mitigated by his ability to just cog and hold back the wave and just get that XP under tower. But yeah, level 6 is always a concern. So Vega are going to take out the Lifestealer and the Terrorblade. Shadow Fiend taken out on the side of NewBee, one of the signature heroes for G, so no surprise there.
Ursa's still out there in the pool.
Radiant team pick.
I'm kind of curious about that, because I think Ursa is really difficult to deal with. I think from NewBee's perspective, they probably see it as we do have suitable heroes to deal with Ursa. We've got really good kiting mechanisms for both Sand King and Jakiro, and we have laning like offensive power. I think that's really big versus Ursa, because he is all offense and no defense pre-level 6. You want to make sure that you have an offlane that can put pressure on him. Otherwise, these heroes like Abaddon, for example, from we saw from previous series, is that they don't have enough offensive power. Ursa overpowers you in that regard, and this 1v1 is just purely in his favor. He just runs at you and you can do nothing about it. But if you have like Sand King, who has a significant nuke and also has this caustic finale that's in lane, you have a dual lane with Jakiro even that is able to provide a lot of damage over time. You have to keep supports in lane to make sure the Ursa has a successful, because he doesn't really have a good comeback mechanism outside of Roshan, right? So if you have a bad laning phase and Roshan is shut down, Ursa actually spirals downwards very quickly.
Although I gotta say, the last few times Vega has played Ursa, they've run it. I think they ran it twice with G playing at mid, and at least one of them was in a rather unusual matchup that he did fairly. What was it? It was a ranged hero matchup, and he actually did just fine with his Ursa mid. So that may be a way that you can mitigate some of that that problem that is going to occur with the NewBee supports if they match him in the safe lane.
Since NewBee doesn't know if it's gonna be Ursa mid or safe lane, they can't pick a melee hero for mid, so only ranged heroes.
Yeah.
No, I am very much against the mid Ursa for this patch.
Yep.
I don't know how you guys are feeling it, but I think mid Ursa was more of a last patch.
Last patch because of Ember Spirit.
Yeah, Ember
mostly.
and Jug.
Yeah.
And I think Shrine is also very helpful for the Ursa as well.
That's true too.
The loss of that is, you're going to feel it pretty badly.
Remaining.
NewBee get another good anti-Ursa hero in the Weaver. Rubik against both Weaver and Sand King has mega value, so one of the few times that you're going to see a 4-5 that doesn't have like a whole lot of great scaling or anything. These are basically like 2 4.5 positions.
You're going to see that more and more, I think, in this patch, though. If the games continue to be played at the tempo that we've seen,
super fast. Yeah.
And that does tell you, of course, that this is going to be an afterlife clockwork on the Vega side.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
Yeah,
remaining.
interestingly enough, if the drafts were reversed, I'd say there's some position, not now, of course, with the Tidehunter, but I'd say that there's some chance that we might see a support Weaver coming out of Vega. But no, that's definitely a core on the side of NewBee. That's going to be UU9's hero.
Why are they running Tide against Ursa?
And Rupik.
Are they aggro tri-laning against the Ursa?
Probably.
With Weaver, Jakiro, Sand King, and then Tide versus Clock. That's favorable.
Yeah, they're going to try and get that 1v1.
Might not be a Clock, it might be against something else. Oh, it actually is Clock, sorry. Yeah, well, their tri-lane is super strong with Sand, Jakiro, Weaver. They don't have enough control for all of that, and Jakiro has such a high base HP at start. Also, I'm not sure about the armor, but the guy can tank.
But Vega, at that point, don't you try and dodge by putting Clockwork against the tri-lane, and you put the Ursa against Tide, and you keep the supports, I think, with the Clock in the tri versus tri, or at least the Rubik or something, and have the Crystal Maiden jungling, and you just like keep the Ursa in the 1v1 against Tide. That's what Vega want to achieve anyway.
Yeah, this is why maybe they're still hoping for a mid possibility if the draft allows for it, but the Queen of Pain, one of the staple SCC heroes back in their better days, it kind of prevents you from doing that. But talking about the Ursa, one of the other issues that NewBee is maybe trying to address in this draft is that the hero wants experience and levels. The same with the Clockwork. So if like one or both of them, ideally, if they're able to find a place to get up their levels, they have impact that much quicker, they threaten Roshan that much quicker, are able to fight that much quicker. If they can't do that based on laning, it could be a very tough early mid game for Vega.
All right, we're down to the last pick of the draft here for Vega. Who's it going to be for G against the SCC Queen of Pain mid?
There's not very many mids left.
Yeah.
Dragon Knight.
And it is going to be, okay, they're going to go, actually G plays a pretty good Dragon Knight. This is a hero that he's had some experience with during the course of his career, knows how to play these slightly unfavorable mid lane matchups. He's going to get his farm up. I thought NewBee were the better team going into this series. I'm less confident after game one. What do you guys think here?
I'm still not giving up on NewBee, especially again in the second pick. What they got again with a strong team fight lineup, strong push. I think it's gonna be easy game for NewBee.
I'm leaning heavily in favor of NewBee this game because of the Queen of Pain mid and how difficult that matchup is for the DK. If you move the supports to help, then the Ursa or the Clockwork miss out on experience and get shut down. That'll stop their early game. I like NewBee's draft.
Yeah, I think NewBee showcased towards the end of last game that they were outplaying Vega Squadron. So in game 2, I think I'm going to lead with them still.
All right, guys, ride or die. I'll make it 4-0 NewBee on our panel for the second game in a row. We will see if they can keep the series alive. As I throw it out to our casters, Zeus needs mana. Here's Kalo Guy and Merlini.
Thank you so much, Nahaz and panel. Here I am with my bud Merlini, about to cast this one up. The whole panel,
Give mana.
The whole panel has NewBee on this one. So how's Vega about to win?
I think I've gone against the panel every single time, and I'm actually doing pretty well for once.
Are you going against them again here?
Yeah, I'm going against
You
them.
are?
Yeah,
All
always.
right. Now I got to hear why, because the whole panel was convinced that NewBee get their comfort support staff. They have great team fight. This Weaver's a good matchup against the Ursa. But what is it now about Vega's lineup that you feel, confident that they should be able to pull this one out? Is it something about that 5th pick?
I think it's more so NewBee's mentality. I think it was a knee-jerk reaction picking the Quap after they lost to it last game. It's like, what the heck with this hero? And also, I think the Chinese teams are traditionally very slow to adapt to new patches. And I think
so you're looking past more of the draft and more just about like maybe based on NewBee's performance already.
The draft is not bad. But I don't like the DK versus the Queen. I think it's a pretty terrible matchup. But Clockwork versus Weaver, I think, is very good. I think the Rubik's going to have a blast. I think the Crystal Maiden, the Root, very good versus Sand King, very good versus the Queen. So I think they have some inherently good skills that counter some of what NewBee has to offer. And I also don't think they're that great at contesting Roche. If they, like, let's say they ravage and kill one hero, even if it's a core, then you just go in and do Roche with Ursa. I think that's pretty straightforward for Vega. So I see a lot of upsides for them, aside from the laning phase Queen of Pain versus DK matchup.
Looks like an early draw out here. NewBee could look to invade a bit, and that seems to be the game plan. Waiting on that high ground.
Draw more lines, Aloha
was
Dance.
the Ursa. And Aloha Dance, yeah, not the artist. Runs back the other direction.
You can't
Looks
draw
like they'll
straight
avoid
lines
that
with
one.
mice, dude.
Really?
If you can, you're just a magician. Can you draw straight lines with your mouse?
I mean, I can come closer than what he did.
I don't think you're trying to draw a straight line. But in MS Paint, straight line, you have to be some sort of...
Can you cheat and use like hold
No.
shift and?
No. That's not drawing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
creating
you said
a line.
you said make a line with the mouse, so.
Drawing a line.
All right, fair
with the
enough.
mouse.
I'll practice and show you I can do it. Here though,
One of my teachers in like middle school, he like drew a
Circle?
almost perfect circle. It was amazing. He used his arm as the radius though, and just like went.
oh, I've
went
seen like
in
a video of
full
that where he
loop.
does sideways. And
Yeah, dude, we were all amazed. I think we clapped for him after that.
Wow.
It was that impressive.
You should perform it sometime. I'd love
Well,
to see
if
that.
anyone draws a straight line in this game on the minimap, I will also clap for them. How about that?
Fair enough. Oh, early initiative onto the Queen. You're saying this is going to be the weaker matchup, and this is how Vega want to deal with it now. It's going to force out the early tree eating there.
Yeah, he has a salve at least, but no shrine, not good. G is a very strong mid laner, though. I think people have forgotten about G just because he hasn't been on a good team in a while. But he's really
like,
good.
And he's been in Dota forever, man. He's a
Yep.
Dota 1 legacy kind of a player. And from what I remember, I don't know him to switch positions. I feel like he's been a mid laner like since the start almost, where we see like Silent, who's been support to carry and back to support. G has mostly fine-tuned the art of the mid lane.
Yeah, he's
This is his
OG mid laner.
Yeah, this is his home. And whether DK's in the meta or not, he'd probably visited many metas before too. Top lane, early telekinesis pullback. Can't get it? Yes, they can. Last hit's going to be there, and it's going to be first blood rewarded to Vega on this one. They will quickly get the takedown of Aloha Dance right after, though.
Easy for Vega, dude. They get the Ursa versus the Tidehunter matchup. That's one
Yeah.
that you're definitely not looking at. That's probably way worse than the DK versus Quat matchup.
I mean, it's cojones from NewBee to kind of pick up the Tide, and obviously them banking on a better laning setup here. And the Ursa is hungry, comes back and eats up the Dragon too. NewBee, I don't know if they're going to be forced to call an audible to switch the lanes up or get more attendance up here, but this could be balling out of control real quick for Vega at the start.
And you have Crystal Maiden Aura.
Oh, yummy.
Better
Silent
than Coddle?
already moving in. Look at this.
Oh, wait, or is it
Full aggro setup, pullback. What are you saying about Coddle? Better than Coddle?
Arcane Aura is better.
Well, now Coddle has that talent, so don't forget. Level 15, it gets the extra 300 mana, so.
But you
we'll see.
can't mana all 5 heroes in the game from the laning phase.
Yeah, but he also has reduced cooldown, so that's nice.
Fanboy. I'm just
I do,
kidding.
the blonde, she's got that, though. Here we go, though. Kaka now at the mid lane here, looking to go for a roaming setup. There's been a lot of attention from Vega at the other lanes, but man, look, Sayoma all over the place. Suddenly shows up mid lane to help out, but is it going to be too late? Can the Dragon's Blood be good enough to absorb the damage? No, they will be able to get off the dual breath and enough to be able to burn through the Dragon Knight. How ironic it is the THD taking down the Dragon Knight. But
Wow, Faith. He tanked that tower up for Kaka. Kaka did have a salve, though, but yeah, they don't have enough mana. Arcane Aura is not going to be enough to secure you this.
Oh, a Chakra would have been good enough.
Chakra would have been good.
And Kaka will walk away with his life on this one, and Sunlayer game is back even 2-2-2.
Queen has a lot more denies than DK.
We've been seeing a lot of serious denies play. Obviously, with the benefit of 7.06, all the laners have been putting a lot more emphasis on stacking up that deny number quite a bit. It's had a little bit of value, getting people up from anywhere from a quarter to 2/4 of a level ahead.
Yep.
How much of an impact is that? About how much it is? Maybe if you deny the whole way forward, you'll get a half a level from it in your mid lane phase.
Not that much. Melee creeps XP got lowered too.
Oh, you are right. CC will dish out the Shadow Strike here, and they'll continue to harass a bit, but as the levels do come in, Dragon Knight, his durability will also continue to go on the rise. And he's got a full bottle to be able to fall back on top of that too. Poor Tidehunter. They have totally abandoned him to that top lane now, and he's going against a tri-lane that's about to swarm all the way around and catch him from behind the tower, but there's also action going to be happening here in the mid lane. A jump for G could be successful, and it will be with the deny. Was it deny? No, that was the cog deny. They will take down G. Top lane, though, they were able to swarm onto KP at the same moment, but can the Ursa make it out? He somehow jukes around the corner, but ends up getting face-to-face with the Weaver here. Does manage to walk away from trouble as the support staff is still hanging around, and in fact, they're going to be making their own move in. Can they get the burst play? The Rocket even helping out, and it is going to be Vega on the takedown of the Weaver, too.
Ursa's huge, and it's 5 minutes so they can shrine up if they want. Who needs shrine when you have cells and clarities and everything going on, and arcane aura?
Save the shrine, save it for something more important.
That was not their philosophy last game.
You're right. Especially when, save it for G because he's going to take it anyways. G's in trouble though again. Mid lane, NewBee trying to make up for the trouble at the top lane by getting a lot done here and taking down G once again, and they will be successful in it. Kaka picks up that one, and a follow-up could be there in Silent, but here comes Seoma, steps in with a Fade Bolt, will earn them to take down of Kaka, but they will still get the grab of the little blonde lady. Silent goes down.
So many creeps. Makes it very easy to dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, DK struggling a lot. His armor, again, is not particularly useful. I really like DK in drafts against like StarLadder, Lifestealer, like these sort of heroes that rely purely on physical damage. I guess Weaver does, but he's kind of the only one that Dragon's Blood is really good against. They do have, I guess, this long duration stun versus the Queen and the
Do you feel like that might be why they did it?
Yeah.
They have the lockdown, the factor, and then someone to be able to really push forward with objectives too, because otherwise
tower
they have
hitter.
no one. They have no good tower hitter outside of this dragon. So
that is worth the sacrifice of the lane, I think.
Yeah.
But he's struggling mightily in terms of deaths, but net worth is not so bad, 400.
And you're trying to balance it with how much the Ursa's getting on your team, so it feels pretty good. But here NewBee now are trying to help that a bit. They head to the top lane. Afterlife tries to TP out, but there's a good burrow, but then Seoma shows up with that Fade Bolt. Will zap down Kaka once again. Eventually Mugi will be able to move on in and get the finish, take down up to Afterlife. And Faith could be next. No! Able to de-aggro the tower a bit. He runs on out. Seoma's not going to be able to get the finish, and now it's Weaver moving on in. Can he take down the Grand Magus? No! He hits the showers, turns it around, zaps him with the Fade Bolt, and Mugi's going to try to run out the other direction. He will be fine, but a shrine will be forced.
That's why you save the shrines.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's going up for a bounty rune.
Super greedy. He's like, I'll just take the bounty too.
Yeah, he has an Observer Ward up there, but that's still pretty bold.
He's not done. He goes deeper, drops down a new Observer Ward behind the tower, and almost gets close enough to cancel out a TP there of the Jakiro.
Kaka is looping in. He's going to find Soma.
Soma hits him with a telekinesis, says don't even think about it. Runs the other direction, is able to rendezvous with the little one.
It's bad for NewBee that Rubik's getting all these +1s. He's 1-0 and 5 on the Rubik, and I definitely don't think that's a hero that you want to be giving a lot of items to in this game. Stealing Ravage could be devastating. Burrow Strike's really good.
The value is ridiculous. It's just like he's salivating, I'm sure, looking at the lamp of NewBee and what he's going to get at level 6. Nice pullback right into the cogs. Mugi's going to be forced to try to eat through his way out, but can't do it. The setup in this top lane is quite ridiculous, and Seoma is putting in some serious mileage in this game on his Rubik, too. Now NewBee looking to swarm on in. SCC getting into action now. They actually headed up north, and it's going to be Silent TPing away. Afterlife does have a TP as well.
And they missed
will commit it. NewBee struggling a bit on trying to find the gank here at the top, or you're not going to find their opportunity.
Well, DK ult up in 1 second. There they go.
That tower's already at half of its life,
That's
too.
the worst kind of rotation as Queen. When you TP, you don't get a kill, and then your tower just gets wailed on.
They have 4 members just I don't want to say lollygagging, but they're just hanging around that top lane.
They thought they were going to be able to get a kill. I don't blame them for it, but now they're going to suffer the repercussions of not getting a kill, and looks like Smoke is not going to be popped, but Afterlife certainly senses something.
Yeah, he's like pinging up there. SCCC will be popped at that moment, but they've already made their move for G. Hook shot's going to be, and he cogs them all inside to stop them from moving onto G. G's going to be able to turn around, gets good damage onto SCCC, but can't quite get the finish. Him and Afterlife now going to eat the huge Sonic Wave coming out, and it will help secure a double kill for KP. NewBee finally find the fight they were looking for. They have to put a lot of attendance at the mid lane, but your first Ravage is pretty nice.
They lose a T1 and for 2 ults. It's actually not the best trade for NewBee. I think if they had used one or the other of the ultimates, it would have been fine, and they would have gotten both the kills, but they both were kind of waiting for each other to do it. But you don't want to lose that tower early. This is quite early, 9 minutes in against a TK that already died. How many times has he died this game? He's 0-4-0, but he still got the tower. That's objective gaming at its finest.
Speaking of getting towers and objective gaming, it will be Mugi grabbing up the top tier 1. He's thinking about diving deep, looking to go for Silent. G's here too. Steps forward with the Brief Fire, hits him with the stun. Mugi. Oh, he wants to finish his plate here. He's getting baited in. Potentially Silent will ultimately go down, but Afterlife now shows up, and he's going to get the battery salt off, and now Mugi, was it worth it? Diving in deep. He does get the tower too, plus a Crystal Maiden, but you know, G finally gets a kill. So now he's 1-4.
Nice.
I like how you're nice is exactly how I expect the nice to be in a chat wheel.
Yep.
Nice.
I've used that a lot of times. That's probably one of my most
I
often
can't
used
believe
chat
they
words.
don't just take your, they should just take your nice and make it the voice wheel nice.
Nice.
And now it's going to be always want to fly right
This
into
is
the
awkward.
pit. Always want to fly. Aloha dance into the pit. The real you. And he has bodyguards here. Kaka, though, as you can see, Invis scouting the whole thing out. Oh, a sentry gets dropped, but that's the moment the Afterlife has already made his move in. He pops out the dust, and they're going to quickly shred through Kaka the second he's able to show himself. Faith also going to be going down. A good head start for Vega on this one. As they drop down 2, they will end up losing Afterlife. But Mugi in a lot of trouble. Zapped up with that Fade Bolt.
See, this is the thing. They used the Tide Hunter ultimate and the Quap ultimate, and they're like, okay, let's go straight into the pit. And now they're like forced to fight with an ultimate, and they're going to get slaughtered.
They are. The watermelon gets toasted as he gets dropped. Kaka just back from the dead, able to get the epicenter off, but my God. Silent lets it rain from above, and all of NewBee scatter away, very low on life. They can't make an approach. They can't accept the fact that this Roche is happening. It looks like they're trying to just come back up. They all will heal on up and could make a new approach here. This is getting stretched out long enough that could turn trouble for Vega. They will knock down Silent. With the help of that Sonic Wave, Afterlife, though, was able to make the move in for Kaka, locks him within the cogs, and they will be able to get the finish. Sayoma picks that one up with the Fade Bolt, and they get the turnaround takedown of Afterlife. A double kill going to be awarded to Mugi. It's a very long-winded skirmish around this Roche pit.
Ravage is back up. Sonic Wave was used. Is Ravage going to be enough to stop this Roshan attempt, though? Roshan's at like 2/3 HP.
Looks like Ursa stepped off in the meantime to just get back into the grind of jungle. But Crystal Main's back now, and they ping it out. So they are going to be heading back in there.
And their top shrine's back up again after the Rubik used it.
That's good for Vega. And we'll have to see, though. I imagine KP is going to be watching things out. He's farming bottom lane for now, but a TP will be on hand in case the approach will be there. They have that ward to scout things out on the Roche side.
I think Vega should force it again. Maybe once Freezing Field is up again, because I think that was a pretty big spell in that fight. And NewBee are all huddled around the pit, very scared and wary of Ursa, but Ursa realizes that NewBee cannot do Roche by themselves.
No, they cannot. They do not. They're not Roche formidable at the moment. Vega popped their smoke. Oh, I think they want to. It looked like they're trying to make an approach onto KP. They take him out. They take out the Ravage. Full rotation looks like for now to the bottom lane. Not going to be able to get that grab, and KP. It's hard to tell what he's going to be moving forward for item-wise here. Is there something more appropriate outside of maybe your... Oh, it looks like, okay, he's going to go for a hood.
I would say Blink. I like Blink Rush.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a Blink or a mech. Freezing Field for Crystal Main to push back that mid lane, it would appear, so that goes on cooldown. But in the meantime, Vega didn't make that full rotation towards the bottom lane and were able to claim the Tier 1 tower. So they've totally stepped off from the Roche pit for now. Hook shot, mid lane from Afterlife here. A man on a solo mission, but could be successful. Not going to be successful. Is able, though, to make it away in the back of a TP. Almost gets the solo pick
Would have been a lot of style points if he got that.
Yeah,
he got that kill.
Behind enemy lines for that one too. Fortunately, can't quite get the finish.
And now that Rubik's level 6, things are going to get real bad, I think.
Oh,
or
yeah.
he's level 7 at the moment, but
He's like, you want to Ravage now? I'm ready.
even
I'm
without
ready.
that, like he got so many Fade Bolts off at that last fight.
Yeah, he's a Fade Bolt KS master this game too. Oh,
Mugi.
got him with telekinesis. There's the pullback. He's got the spell steal. Did you still need? I didn't even. Oh,
See,
he's got burrow still.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
Rubik is just ridiculous this game. I'm telling you.
Yeah, very nice. 2 big sets of lockdown for someone as elusive as the Weaver. This is going to be a serious problem for NewBee. Sayoma's having a hell of a game already.
Is this an NNN6 game?
Do you have to explain it, or do you want me to?
You can explain it.
So obviously, isn't it 6 NNN?
6, either way.
Yeah, it would be. So U9 flipped upside down is 6 NNN, and I guess according to the Chinese meme, if a team is typically doing bad, they also consider it flipping the car. So they flipped the name U9 and made it 6 NNN for those games where he happens to not be doing so well. And he's like, I'm just going to change my name to Mugi. You can't flip that.
You could. Woogie.
Woogie? Almost a better name than Mugi. Mugi! Scooching his way back on forward, but looks like Vega will head out the other direction right now. Your Ursa's still flexing the top of the net worth right now.
Kaka goes for an epicenter up on silent.
We're not watching that, though. I'm seeing bottom lane. The epicenter play, though, is going to reward the pickoff, and SCCC will be able to get it. All for the takedown of the little silent. Burrow committed for that one.
Poor CM.
Yeah, she has to tank it, but not the worst thing ever. She is the lowest net worth in the game.
Dude, NewBee keep checking rows. They are death.
They're paranoid. They're like paranoid. They're just like, you guys in there? Okay, good. Wait, did you see him? Okay. Are you sure? But Vega are fine with that. I mean, they haven't. It doesn't even look like they've been thinking about it at all. They're more content on farming, and every time NewBee put the attendance towards that Roche pit, other lanes are going to be free elsewhere, and that earned them that tier 1 takedown bottom, and still a lane to kind of farm on forward with. They have the ward on the high ground as well, so they can even see that nobody from NewBee is in the perimeter. They just can take advantage of that full front. Meanwhile, it looks like they have made a nice, juicy Griffey stack here for KP.
Mugi might get caught out over here.
Scan is out. I think that one was a NewBee scan.
Yeah, it was on the shrine.
Yeah, didn't catch anyone on the left-hand side.
Gotcha, Kuchi.
Nice.
That's rough.
He can utilize for a fun little approach or escape later on. And what's he got slotted up now? I can't see anything. I imagine the blink dagger would be a good grab at this point moving forward for your Tide, but we'll see if he finds more value and maybe some extra bit of regen or sustain for the team. They have made a hard rotation now all the way to the bottom lane, where we still see our Ursa and Sayoma combo farming it out, but NewBee not making any aggressive approaches. They did get that one pick down of the Silent Crystal Maiden, but here we see top lane. Vega back on the move, a 2-man hit squad. It is going to be Kaka able to make it out from the cogs with the burrow, and that'll be the end of it here. I'm not sure if Silent, no, he did not have, oh, he did do the freezing field.
Just didn't have enough frostbite to keep him in place.
And now is the time where Vega have creeped themselves within the pit. But NewBee just outside waiting. Actually, Kaka, burrows inside the pit. Conveniently for Vega, they stepped away at that moment. They're going to be bringing down the Sand King. KP is there. He has that Ravage. Sayoma is waiting on the high ground Ancient Camp, though. He's like, go ahead, Betty. Use it. And inside is our Ursa friend, able to utilize that Blink Dagger and juking back any sort of potential approach of NewBee.
This is awkward.
Super
I think Vega
awkward.
just have to wait for them to reset at some point.
Who's going to leave first? It's a standoff.
Should definitely be Vega.
It looks like that's already the case. G's already taken his business all the way up to the top lane in hopes of pushing forward for that tier 1. And NewBee are just going to, we're all together. I guess we can take it to the mid lane. Try to make a tier 1 happen here. Faith will get it started with the Liquid Fire. Ooh, Ice Path to the high ground. But Sayoma quickly blinks away. Steps away, move in for G. Back from the top lane, eats the Sonic Wave, plus the Epicenter now coming out. And then they move in with a hook shot. Cog's going to be there. Stolen Sonic Wave and fires it right back onto NewBee. NewBee looking to jump on out, but It's now Vega's time to strike, and they quickly take down 2. A pullback's going to be there for SCCC. He's able to blink away, but the jump is on. A new blink there from the Bear. Fade Bolt is able to connect, and he goes down with the last thing of the urn.
God, Rubik.
Woo!
Dream Rubik game, I tell you.
This is awesome.
Dream Rubik game. My God.
Sayoma, wonderful game for him already, and now with that, Vega can move themselves in the pit and finally get this Roach down.
That was a sick hook shot, though, by Afterlife. That was, I think, the turning point of the fight right there, where he cogged like 2 or 3 of them and just made it very difficult. Oh, are they
Awkward for G. Macropyre's there. They get it down, and it is going to be picked up. But now Loyance could be in a bit of trouble. Swings for the fences here, but it's a cog trap in for KP. He's eating the battery salt, and he can't get anything quite off yet. He's running back out, but eventually will get slashed down.
And Shikuchi stolen. And have fun with that, Rubik.
Faith is trying to make it away here. They could lose their Aegis life fast, but G's now shown up, looking to come in from behind. Afterlife, the hook shot connection, bumping back the others and locking in Faith will help him secure that one. They will end up losing the Rubik as he gets blasted down from Mugi. There, the freezing field comes off and helps secure the finish of Kaka. A 3-for-2 trade, though.
Dude, NewBee have lost so many heroes. This pace of the game is way too fast for them. Fighting against an Ursa who's not really that cooldown reliant when you have a Tide and a Queen of Pain, it's not working out for them at all. They need to slow down the pace of the game till at least Weaver gets Lincolns, I would say. So Rubik's life gets a little bit more difficult, but if you wait, then G's just going to keep on knocking down all your towers and get a Shadow Blade and pick off like the Queen of Pain, let's say, who's going to go for the non-Lincolns build the Veil into the Orchid. So she is very susceptible to the Shadow Blade gank or a Blink Ursa +1.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm not sure here for NewBee what they're attempting to hold out for. It feels like a late game horizon, if anything, but the approach of Vega just seems to be a bit too strong at the moment, and the pacing is just right there. This glyph will conclude, and that will be a free tower for Vega. A trade's coming out from NewBee as they pressure down the bottom lane. I'm just looking at the fight recap of that recent exchange, and again, this Clockwork just at the top of the damage,
Dude,
too.
He's putting in work.
Yeah, the team overall is just doing a lot. It was a struggle for G, of course, in the mid lane, but he's been there for a lot of these fights, and obviously he's doing the job as a tower hitter to tower hit. And it's helping Vega be able to move forward with this game so they don't get kind of stalled out. And they are all going to be able to acquire that extra bit of purse.
Something that's also quite amazing about Rubik this game is the null field. If you look at NewBee's lineup, it's
magic, very
magic based. And the Troll last game had the magic resist talents. That's why he was like so incredibly tanky. And having null field 20% for your whole entire team.
Yeah, and I imagine some of the others, do any of them have talents of magic resist? I mean, that will stack with it as well.
Clock has one, but usually people take the battery assault damage.
That's true. Oh, there goes Burrow. Swarm comes out. They've already made their jump. The Ice Path's good timing to try to slow them down. Now a Ravage step in there for KP. They are going to be able to get the finish of Kaka. Stolen Ravage! Hello! Drop down from Sayoma, and he puts it right on top of the heads of NewBee here, and it's another disaster for him. They lose 3. Oh, poor panel. So much faith in
Dude,
NewBee.
You gotta respect the Rubik though. Like Soma is just that guy's ridiculous on the playmaker supports.
I mean, I think they were saying at the start of this series, Sayoma had been notoriously known for having a lot of significant like disruptor games and even some good Crystal Maiden games, but
yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't actually come into prominence in that scene.
Condolences. And quick slash takedown. Faith's gonna get dropped just like that. The Ursa showcasing how he is totally in his prime. Now sporting over a 10K net worth. He is up there at the top. With Weaver still trailing behind, 2K behind that.
Oh, the arcane dragon form. Oh, the value. I think the most incredible thing about this game for me from Vega is how they played around the Roche pit. Like just them being patient and forcing NewBee to sit there a lot of the time.
Get him paranoid about it.
Yeah, and they took down the T1 early and mid, so they don't have good control of that area at all, and that's why they had to be there as 5. And they played around the Ravage cooldown the first time they attempted it, and then they backed off and waited for NewBee to be like, okay, we have to farm, this is not working out for us, and then they went in again at that exact precise time that NewBee didn't really want them to.
It's got to be concerning for NewBee fans because this Vega lineup's coming into this tournament like we're still new. We're a lot of individual players who've been across a lot of many teams, and we're just trying to still find our chemistry and work as a team and not as individuals. But it's NewBee, the team, that look like they're not working as a team whatsoever, and Vega just getting everything they want here. SCCC is barely able to survive. Faith steps in as the bodyguard. Take me instead.
Take me, yeah.
And he goes down.
The thing about this draft that they have, though, it is a lot of individual skill. Like, Rubik has had huge individual plays. Like
You're right.
Clockwork with his hook shot, too. And then I think Ursa is not quite as difficult as some of the other lineups that you need to pull off. You just need to be able to play around Roche, and the Ursa player can make that call himself.
Yeah, that's a great point. Vega just kind of making a complementary lineup to, or draft to their
It is really
lineup.
important. You
Yeah.
don't go for good 5-man drafts if your chemistry sucks.
So no Wisp. No opportunities where Vega can really shine, like Sayoma here and now. But
And they had the Rubik in the mid lane at the start to protect G because they need him to have a good laning phase. Like, a lot of these small things come with playing together a lot. Their teamwork's not great, but in like straight 5-on-5, but I think their individual play is stellar this game.
And Vega take to the bottom lane now. NewBee have been splitting the pressure across the map as much as possible to stall things out and avoid confrontation with Vega while they're so big and beastly. Vega already at the point where only one more outer tower stands for NewBee before they're going to be ready for a high ground approach. It does look like, I mean, if it's already going to get to that kind of a point, how do you feel about NewBee and their high ground defense? It looks like they have a respectable lineup to work with the choke point quite good. You know, you have Macropyre, Epicenter potentially coming from behind, and Ravage. There is Wombo combo potential.
They have the DK, though. DK is really good at sieging high ground. He has a lot of sustain, so he's pretty resistant to chip damage. And he can also go... There's not that many heroes that can go and hit the tower once and do a lot of damage. Jakiro and Dragon Knight, the two dragons, I suppose, are actually really good at it because they have this huge damage over time. But not that many other heroes have that. Pugna, I suppose, can also do that.
Jump in here from the Dragon Knight. G able to get the stun, but oh, okay. KP tries to go for
dude,
a
that
scoot
pipe
TP,
is so useless. I understand why he wants it. It's like for more team fight, but it hasn't done anything for him this game.
Yeah.
Like, he just dies to Ursa. Ursa gives no flips about.
He's like, cool pipe. I'll shred you apart and then smoke it. It's just
He doesn't
tough,
have pipe, dude.
tough stuff.
Yeah, he got a force set to deal with the Clockwork hook shot.
Yeah, which
Because
is
Afterlife is owning this game.
forces of abundance, if possible, here from NewBee. Maybe between
Radiant's
Kaka
top
and, of
tower
course,
is under attack.
KP would be very, very helpful here. Vega just kind of holding out. They haven't come together and just kind of been able to finish out. They are making that slow rotation towards the bottom lane to go for the tier 2, but is there anything that Vega are holding out for before they can kind of take this to the final stretch? I mean, they're getting pick after pick here. They nearly take down STCC, barely able to make it away on the other side. And it does look like they will get a response play, will NewBee. Moving in, they get the finish. But look at that, Afterlife, able to catch up with STCC or catch up with a rocket or something, is able to take him down. And now the fight is on for Vega. They move in. Faith trying to walk away in the back of his ice path. He gets the force save there from KP, but ended up getting dropped regardless. G torches him down. On the other front, here comes Dance jumping in and getting the quick slash. He is now godlike, by the way. And Vega should be able to clinch this tier 2 tower. Things going from bad to worse, it feels, here for NewBee. 29-17, and it is now going to be high ground moving forward.
They have no solution to BKB. Ursa blinks in BKB. He is God for 10 seconds, 9 seconds, however long it is right now.
G has his BKB too.
Yep.
This is just miraculous timing. I was posing the question, what are they holding out for? It looks like BKBs. There's our answer. Moving in, a slash on the KP. He's going to get forced back. And now G can begin to go to work on the tower. NewBee pressure to now dish out of defense, have to bank on a huge team fight to be able to keep this game alive for themselves. But it looks like Vega are already going to be heading out the other direction. Roche just got back up, so they could make their way that direction and claim the extra life to make the closure of this game a little bit easier on them.
Whoa, stunned in for that creep. Crazy, dude.
Kaka is somehow going to waddle his way out. Faith not going to be so fortunate, but now Kaka is still actually trapped within the trees, and suddenly a battery assault will be there for him. He does manage to burrow to the low ground here, but NewBee might not be able to make it back inside where it's safe when Vega already coming in to go for closure. Suddenly now they have no Tidehunter, no Sand King, and they have no buyback.
On the bright side, they got rid of Arcane Aura.
Unfortunately, this Ursa will be low on mana for a while.
Important, actually.
Here we go, though. Don't move in. Sayoma pops the Lincolns with the Fade Bolt immediately, then falls over the Telekinesis lift. Meanwhile, it is going to be the jump of the Ursa, forcing the Queen of Pain back within her fountain. Vega gets some more.
Imagine if he had more mana, dude.
Up, but you're right. Man, props to NewBee on this one.
Props to NewBee.
Crystal Main takedown has totally saved them on this game, and now they're going to be rewarded these few extra minutes. But again, the Ursa is up, and we could see Vega head that way. They've been just granted these pick-off opportunities and just taking advantage of pushing forward after them. They haven't been able to double back and just go for Roche. NewBee here now, though. They do not want to accept this. But already you can see the Jakiro now gone under the mercy of this Ursa, who continues to be a tyrant here. 14, 1, and 12. Almost involved in everything. Moving on in, the follow-up hookshot. KP forced to dish out the Ravage. They do get a nice follow-up with a Sonic Wave, and potential turnaround could be here for NewBee, but now Freezing Field comes out from Silent and will help him get the finish onto Kaka. And it could be Vega going back the other direction. A jump in's going to be there. KP already pops out the magic resistance. It could be Ursa in trouble, and he actually goes down. That is a mighty net worth and a godlike streak. Going to be going the way of SCCC. Meanwhile, KP going to get dropped as G secures the godlike double kill here. They still swinging it about. He's blasting down SCC, gets it done. Now looks to go for Mugi. Says, I've had enough.
I cannot believe Rubik played that ballsy with the gem on him. He could have just died, lost the gem, and he would have been real sad. But he is a man.
He's a man. He's alive. He gets to hold his gem. And Vega still managed to get the better end of that trade. They do hand over, though, that big bounty. It's a big bounty to SCCC, but Vega can now come back to attendance here and maybe makes enough space for them to be able to go for the Aegis. The NewBee resilient. Keep trying their best to throw their bodies at Vega and stopping them.
They got really fortunate with the BKB timing on the Ursa. His BKB ran off right before the Ty was about to die, and then he ravaged, and they were able to sit up with that sick play. And now, yeah, as you mentioned, Roshan going to be the next play. NewBee did not manage to get to their shrine, so they do have that available to them. Afterlife looking for a hook shot, but
yeah,
they do have vision. There is that very deep ward that attempted to get dewarded by Kaka and Faith, but it is still up.
Yeah, they have, both teams have vision around that area. NewBee lost one of those wards, but this Roche is easily going to be taken care of here by Vega. So with an Aegis and some fresh BKBs off cooldown to work with, Vega could look to go for closure here. NewBee trying to split the pressure a bit and stall things out longer. A hard push through the bottom lane could help that a bit. And we see there Sayoma trying to catch out anyone from cutting away through that bottom lane, but...
Ooh, Medallion on Tidehunter. Nice. Solar Crest is one of Ursa's worst nightmares.
All right, on the way back, Mugi runs into arms of G and Sayoma. Mugi's going to go for the TP out. Oh, Afterlife comes in from the balcony, but doesn't line up the hook shot to be able to get the catch onto Weaver.
That was pretty close. I think he realized that he was too far away to hookshot the Weaver, so he tried to go for the gap closer
and then
the cog block. Yeah,
I see.
I definitely do not think that was a missed. There's no way you can misclick that far as Clog.
Close, but no cigar there. Mugi will be able to make it out with his life. Silent, just keeping the pressure on forward through this mid lane.
He's just letting it go, dude.
Making it rain. And Vega are just going to equalize out the lanes a bit so that they can get back to the grind of pushing into the high ground a bit. NewBee, what do you say? Let's say Vega get this back on forward. They go to close things out, and NewBee managed to hold. They get a good defense in the high ground with a strong team fight, good synchronization of ultis, maybe misfires of BKBs from Vega. With that one strong defense, do you think that's enough to get NewBee back into this game with their lineup?
I don't think they have enough damage output. DK is very tanky. They have 2 BKBs and no field. Like I don't foresee them killing these heroes. They can maybe survive and maybe kill 1 or 2 heroes through a great combination of Ravage plus Epicenter like Sonic Wave. Like only one fight that they've won in the last 15 minutes, but that was kind of a perfect situation for them, and I don't think they're going to get that again.
Here comes Vega with that situation of a push now, looking to make the move in. G's popped his Dragon Form, and they're going to quickly blast down Kaka. Sand King out of this defense for 40 seconds and no buyback. Boogie now looking to go into action, has that Deso, squares off with the Ursa. The Ursa fighting with everything he has. If he could burst down KP here with that first life would be huge value for him, but can't quite get it, so they will be able to turn around onto him and get that Aegis down. Meanwhile, G trying to burn his way past this glyph and being able to take down the tower, and it's going to be Aloha Dance in a lot of trouble, and they will get the finish of the bear. The tier 3 is going to be the exchange, and the rest of Vega frantic to make their escape here. Can NewBee get any stragglers? G blinks out, and it looks like the space will be there.
Not bad. Ursa for the T3 tower.
Aegis and Ursa, yeah, for tier
it's not
3.
bad at all. Without the sinking, they don't have enough follow-up damage. Just Sonic Wave after the Ravage is kind of it. Macropyre, I guess, is some damage, but man, Jakiro's actually quite high level 16. I thought he'd be a little bit lower, but that is the benefit of having that XP gain talent. Let it go.
Silent loves to cast more freezing fields on creeps than he has in team fights, but it allows him to build up some farm and just keep the pressure out.
Got to push out lanes quickly.
All right, well, you're telling me that it's either the successful in taking down a tier 3 with an Ursa and an Aegis. Are they going to have to get Roche 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more times? Like how do they move in and finish out the racks? How do they do the others?
They can take Shrines out now.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, the Shrines are a big deal.
It is.
I would say, because it like almost guarantees them an next Roshan, and then they can go for the Rax. The Rax siege is a lot easier once you don't have that tower up. And it's not like DK isn't going to continue to scale. Like he's getting really big. He has Chrysalis. He's going for a Bloodthorn too. So
snap.
He has AC as well. He hits hard.
He's actually top net worth, and by a good chunk, he's clearly just stepped over the Ursa and has become the real carry for the team now.
So 3,300 HP-ish. And then he has no field and a ton of armor. Like they don't have any like percent-based damage. I guess a little bit from Veil, but it's still a ton of HP to chop through. And then with Glimmer Cape on top of that, 4 staff saves. It's gonna be a tall task. And you know, this is why they drafted the Dragon Knight. They foresaw that it's gonna suck in the lane, but he's just gonna be really good for us in the late game. He's a good tower hitter, and he's gonna scale way better than the Ursa come this point in the game. And then it looks like they don't even need to wait for anything. They took down a Shrine, and now they're in.
Here comes the Burrow. Can Vega dish out everything they have to make this defense the best that they can? Slide in from KP, gets a great ravage, but turn around and gobble of the cheese, and suddenly G is back to full and ready to fight. And now NewBee are going to be down 2 big ultis for this defense. They're making some pressure onto the racks while simultaneously swinging it out with NewBee here, forcing him back and away. G, though, getting hit with that liquid fire. It's super annoying. And he'll step off a bit. Afterlife steps in, pushes him back with the power of the cogs, and they get the 1 racks down. And Vega will step off with their winnings. SCCC blinks in, gets hit with a telekinesis from Sayoma. They pull him right back into the freezing field damage, and he ends up going down. 80 seconds, does have a buyback, and it could be forced out. Vega get their racks and could walk away with it. Oh, but Sayoma is a man, let's not forget. He's blinking right back into the action, and they're going to be able to take the Weaver down. He does not have a buyback. He's out for 70 seconds. Oh, this could be the beginning of the end for NewBee if it continues to go horrific here. It's going to be Vega suddenly being the gatekeepers for the fountain. They get the pullback onto KP. And the BKB going to be forced out from Ursa. I think it's time for you to go, Vega. They head out the other side, and they are in firm control here. In the meantime, though, G goes to work on that mid lane. He's got about 20 more seconds, and he's already going to have that Dragon Form back up at the ready. Now the buyback going to be forced out from SCCC. They might notice that the Weaver doesn't have one, and Vega could look to go for the end here. G out the other direction on the back end of his BKB, allows him to get to safety. Faith and KP will force him out and hold on to their mid lane, and it looks like they are not stepping away. Vega by now know that this Weaver is not buying out, and they're going back into action here. KP not having a Ravage, can't offer a whole lot more, and now the tier 3 is going to be going down. It's attention on the second set of racks. A jump-in hook comes out from Afterlife, locking Faith in place. A swing and a miss on the stolen Burrow strike from Sayoma, but he does sidestep the Fire Breath. A gem's going to be on the deck, and Vega are still going to get what they want here. The rack's going to be going down. The Weaver's finally back, but is it too late? They've already seen the loss so much. His home has been ransacked. The tier 3 also going to be going down.
Dire's bottom barracks are under
Going back to the play that started this whole Rax push, when they all in on the DK, I respect that play a lot. I think it was a super risky play. It's a high risk play, but that was the only way they were going to win. It was a small percentage chance, and they took it. And the panel is wrong again.
Condolences, panel!
And Vega, that was way better than they looked in game number 1, I would say.
Yeah. Man, Vega looked real good. And
Yeah.
you know what? I would be scared about a team like Vega with confidence. Like, coming in and doing that to NewBee, they're going to be feeling themselves. And I'll say it already. Sayoma MVP? I don't know. That Rubik was awesome.
Yeah, he was. I think for sure. There were so many big plays that he did.
In the early
stolen,
game.
The stolen Sonic Wave was, I think, the first fight that actually put them in the lead. And I think you need to take away these early game tools that Vega has. Ursa, in particular, as a core, it speeds up the game way too quickly. And this Crystal Maiden, yeah, he died a lot, but Arcane Aura sped the game up way too fast to the point where NewBee had to fight in between their ultimates. Without Crystal Maiden, you might not be able to force the fights that often, but with the Crystal Maiden, NewBee was made quick work of.
NewBee are going to be down, but not out here. It's going to be a tough pill to swallow, but we'll look for them to fight their way back through the lower bracket of this group stage. Congratulations again to Vega. This means that they are going to be battling it out in the next upcoming series, so they'll take the small bit of break they have, and then they're going to have to battle it